Go ahead, Micah. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is
And
Micah
thank you for your
Taneo.
service.
You're very welcome. My name is Micah Taneo. I am the founder of Veteran Cabin Corridor. We are a new 501c3 nonprofit located in Richmond, Virginia. And we are on a mission to provide rapidly deployable short-term mobile housing for veterans experiencing housing insecurity and resource access issues. The nonprofit is looking to operate 3 programs in the pursuit of this mission. The first program is called Vet Rescue. Vet Rescue is an emergency reactive program. If a veteran is finding themselves in a situation where they're about to become homeless, or if they're already becoming homeless and they have not yet been intaked by a step 2 program, which can provide like a leased type of housing. Vet Rescue would be dispatched to provide them 2 to 3 days of housing support within a mobile trailer package. Each trailer is battery powered with a full geospatial technology suite and internet connectivity for veterans to engage with local service providers or any resources that they might need, all from the premise of stabilize first, get the veteran in a space where they can focus on whatever transitional struggle they're having. And then Vet Rescue would help them kind of figure out what the next step is. Our second program is a program called Vetcabin. Vetcabin will hopefully become our primary program, and it is a proactive bed and breakfast style program, which provides low-cost rentals for veterans who need to get away, meeting spaces for nonprofits and other organizations, and access points for us to recharge and get our vet rescue trailers back out for new missions. And then our third program is called Vet Archive. Vet Archive is a open sourced literary magazine style submission-based program, which provides veterans, active service members, and cadets and midshipmen and ROTC participants to be, it will give them an ability to share in their experience, whether they have combat experience that they want to share with others, they have concerns or struggles that they want to write about. It gives them a platform to share their experience. And once we have enough of a certain type of submission, we'll bind it together into an open source PDF that can be shared to anybody who feels like they would value the experience. So for example, if we received 50 submissions from veterans who all happen to be Iraq War veterans, then that potential volume could be stories from Iraq War veterans, and it could be anything from something silly that happened, because we all know as veterans, there's a lot of hurry up and wait. And some of those stories are quite entertaining. It could be as simple as they were missing their family and their family came up with an interesting way to keep their morale up. And could be a hodgepodge of different stories that would help veterans and people who are military affiliated feel like they can have access to information that their chain of commands may not necessarily have the bandwidth to provide to them. That kind of makes up our premise of lowering isolatory barriers so that we can hopefully prevent veterans from feeling like they have nowhere to go or that nobody actually cares about them. And hopefully, from our network, they'll be able to either read or go through our database and be like, oh, hey, I need this service. Can you introduce me to this program? And then, we would kind of walk them through the intake, eligibility, and all those things and make sure that they actually get to where they're trying to get to. And that kind of makes up the bulk of the work we're doing. We're still very new. We just exited our developmental period, and we are in the process of trying to acquire our first 3 trailers that we can renovate and begin operating our missions. And then a little bit more about myself. I'm an 8-year Marine Corps veteran, deployed to Iraq in 2008 to 2010. And I almost got tricked into going to Afghanistan, but I saw that we were going in the wrong direction. And I was just like, hey, where are we going? And they were like, oh, we're stopping in Afghanistan. And I was just like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. My MOS was mortuary affairs and personnel recovery and processing. The gist of it was basically I operated in theater combat morgues on the mission to make sure that our veterans get returned to their families in a dignified and expedient manner. And in addition to the nonprofit, I am also writing a science fiction thriller book. So Rebecca, we must get in contact, definitely. So much of what she said, I was thinking about saying. So the theme of the book is it's dystopian action adventure. I've planned out a 5-book series. I've completed the first manuscript, and the premise, something that's very important to me as far as where things like war is concerned, is this idea that in a modern age, people are very disconnected to the horrors of combat and to the horrors of war. And the books that include those types of topics, I often find to be nothing, they don't contribute much more than the gore of it. And I think that in a science fiction capacity, there is so much more to what makes war occur than just, oh, and such shot such and such and went on to the next person and he was a badass. Like, I definitely enjoy really chewing on the philosophical nature of how societies go into war and how competitions and technologies, the introduction of new technologies changes the landscape of politics, of society, of culture. And so in my novel, it takes place in the 31st century, after a digital apocalypse of sorts. The surviving nations of Earth decide, okay, we can't figure out our differences really, and the planet's getting destroyed in the fight of all of this. So the 7 nations pick different solar systems, and they each are tasked with creating their own versions of utopia. And then 500 years after that, we kind of start to see how their plans for peace are all of a sudden failing, and all of these things that they thought were past them are starting to bubble up again. So it gets me to have some fun with conspiracy and stuff like that. So the premise is that as technology pushes us further along the roads to mastering, our 3-dimensional space, what happens when a technology arrives that pushes humanity onto the doorsteps of 5th-dimensional access.
Well, very good, Micah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I can talk forever.
You
Yes.
go on and on. I appreciate that. I appreciate your political peculiar, your access to things. And thank you so much for that. And so we'll have to dig deeper into your
We'll have to bring you back.
political perceptions in a bit.
Yes.
But thanks for your service again. And so with that, we'll have move on to the next.
Yes, and
but
don't forget-
Stay tuned though.
Yes,
Okay.
please don't forget to subscribe.